Hey there, everybody. I'm just gonna do a quick little video over the new hits that we've just received today. I have already looked the list. 4 cards were hit in total, limited to one, so no full bans, which I think is fine. I have no real opinion on whether I think cards should be banned or limited, other than the fact that I do enjoy when cards are taken completely off rather than just the consistency of them being hit. But also in Digimon, I think decks are so consistent that whenever the consistency of a deck is hit to such an extent, it's very similar at least to a ban where you can't consistently hope to see it, such as a card like Ice Wall. So, going over the cards, we're going to go ahead and start in the middle of the list with Impmon. I think this is the outlier to the other 3 hits, who are all kind of in the same vein of play. Impmon deals more so with the current meta of decks, especially over the OCG, and here as well. From this point onwards, as we're about to go into EX4 and then into BT 13. Yeah, there we go. We will see Beals kind of stay on top and continue to be one of the best decks of the format and only continue to get better as we get cards like the trainings and stuff like that. So seeing it get hit now, I think makes sense. I think it's had a good run, was top dog for I think all of the BT12 format, and so as seeing it kind of receive a consistency hits, that way it's more swingy OTK insane milling turns, don't happen as much, feels pretty good to me, and I think most people would agree, even like those who do love the deck. I think seeing the super oppressive EX2 Impmon turns where you mill like a Deathslinger and an EX2 Impmon on a Wizard X, and then you Digivolve into a ball, and then you mill like 2 more Deathslingers and like a Wizardmon, and then you go into your Beals, like all on like turn 3, and having those kind of turns happen significantly less feels really good. As well as it's harder for you to get cards into your trash as consistently. So it slows the deck down overall, which I think brings it more in line with I think the top decks. I don't think it's going to be bad by any means. In fact, I think it's still going to be one of the best decks. I think it's just going to feel less bad to play against, and there'll be less times where you just really can't do anything to stop the impending OTK. Which kind of ties in a little bit to some of the other hits. But before we get to those, I do just want to bring up some possible replacements. I know that some people are talking about replacing the 3 missing copies with the BT6 Impmon, the on-play return a card with a 7th Great Demon Lords in its traits, or a 3 Musketeers in its traits to your hand by trashing an option card. Or is it just trashing a card? Can't remember too much at the moment. The specifics there. I'm not sure if that's the move or going with the on deletion Impmon mill 3. I just do know for a fact that it makes some of your mills worse as you're going through your deck. You no longer maybe want to play as many EX2 Beals because now your main searcher Impmon for Iron Mako will be limited to 1. The only real other one that you wanted to play off of the Beals effect when it's milled is the Warp Impmon, but also you'll be having less cards in trash over the course of the game on average now. So I think people are going to go back and tinker a little bit with what they want to do. I've seen some people playing Calling of Darkness and a bit more Beal Stars, so I think that's something that interesting line that the deck can take. But yeah, and then we can go ahead and scroll down. So we see the Guergarumon, the Grand Kawagamon, and the Blossomon hit. I think Blossomon's a little bit off on its own, but I'll explain why I think it was banned in a second. We're going to go ahead and talk with the Guergarumon and the Grandis hit. I think both of these are very necessary hits. Even though neither deck is performing extremely well, I think that they both fall into the same category of very unfun and uninteractive decks to play against. And you kind of just have to hope that you beat your opponent before they beat you, which can be hard for a lot of decks. Or you just have to hope that your security is insane. So let's start with the Grandis. and like kind of like another reasoning as well. I've seen a lot of Grandis lists not using the new Grandis support they've got, just kind of sticking with the promo Grand Kuwagamon. I think Bandai really dislikes that for a couple reasons. Monetary, obviously, they want people playing their new cards and doing things they haven't seen, as well as they want kind of a move off of this build-in raising stack based deck where you can't really interact, and then at some point in the game your opponent will raise out and try to kill you in a single big swing, and hopefully it works. There's not much you can really do against those kind of things aside from setting up big blockers, but Grand just gets so big that realistically the big blocker won't help you, and it pierces, as well as Wegurumon may just beat under it with the amount of battle protection it has, or even bounce the blocker itself. So yeah, Grandis did get some new support. I'm assuming they're going to be producing more support in the future, as well as Wegurumon consistently gets support, as well as even in the new structure deck, there is a new Wegurumon that does something very similar to the one that's being hit, just at a worse faction. When attacking by trashing one card in your hand, you can unsuspend this Digimon, so it's no longer free. It can Digivolve on top of the Garurumon X antibody, which is nice, so you can still keep the battle protection if you'd like. You can shove it into your blue deck, plug and play really well. And then when attacking, it has just a worse inheritable as well, which is really nice because the security attack +1 was really important for a lot of your OTK combos, getting through the security pretty effectively. So now you're going to take on average probably around 1 to 2 turns. It maybe if you high roll, you'll be able to kill them in a single turn, but on average you'll take 2, so you'll probably have to do some softening up, unlike you normally had to do in the deck. And then same goes for Grand Kuwagamon. You probably can't OTK in that single turn, which I think Bandai really wants to move away from in this kind of style of just check 6 and pass. And now for the Blossomon hit. I think Blossomon makes sense, similar to them hitting Grandis and Wegurumon. I think that they want you to kind of move away from using these older cards and play doing different strategies using these newer, cooler cards, at least in their opinion. Another great reason is I think they kind of want to stay away from these free level 5s. I think they want Digivolving to an ultimate to feel like a cost of some kind, and so similar to how they hit the Argumon down here. Let's see if we can find him real quick. Here he is. The Argumon, I think they really want to stick away from just being able to go into your level 5 for free and then going into your level 6 so consistently. I think that, you know, with the bonuses that you get from suspending your Digimon in the green decks, like like Bloomlord, there we go. It makes sense that they want to maybe slow down your consistency in being able to go into those level 6s. Because they are fairly powerful, even though this deck isn't necessarily the best deck, and same goes for these two. I think they kind of just want to move away from the old, make room for the new, especially when decks like Bloomlord can still make use of newer cards like Quartz, seeing Resurgency back into the meta. But let me know what you guys think. Do you think the Blossomon hit is valid? Do you think that decks like Wegurumon and Grandis have a place in the game? And then finally, I know that most people, if not everyone, is going to agree that I think the EX2 Impmon hit is good, including people that play for the deck, because it makes the deck, I feel like, more skill-oriented and having to manage your resources more appropriately. But hey, if you disagree, you think the EX2 Impmon hit was bad, and that we should have waited to see how the new format of EX2, or the new EX4, EX3, one of the EX sets comes out, alright, whichever one it is, you should see how the format played out. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments, and I will see you guys later.